Cody. Let's pull it apart.
The company's own documentation states it plainly: language models can confidently fabricate answers. The product exists to address this by retrieving actual code from the codebase before asking the model to respond. Ground the answer in what is in the repository rather than what the model assumes. The complaint trail is thin: an editor plugin with an authentication error, an autocomplete that stopped working for days. Compare this to spam across 11,000 repositories, a 202 GB deletion, and a support bot that invented a policy. The modest trail reflects an architecture where retrieval before generation is less likely to cause catastrophic autonomous action. Cody, built on a decade of code search infrastructure by a company founded in 2013. The specialist, not the default. The tool for organizations where understanding a large code base is the bottleneck the other assistants do not address. The founders started the company in 2013 to solve the problem of code bases that have grown too large for developers to navigate. A developer joining a large organization faces millions of lines across dozens of repositories and years of accumulated decisions without documentation. The original product was enterprise code search, indexing entire code graphs, finding every reference to a function across an organization, providing the context developers needed to make changes confidently. In July 2021, the company raised $125 million at a valuation of $2.6 billion. The pitch was universal code search. Then the market changed. Language models became capable enough for coding assistants. The question became whether specialized search infrastructure was necessary at all, or whether the models could handle repository understanding on their own. The decade of indexing infrastructure the company had already built became the answer. The models hallucinate. The search retrieves. The combination grounds the model's response in actual code rather than inferred patterns. Layoffs followed in 2022. Continued pressure through 2023 and 2024 as the company pivoted from search to the product that launched in June 2023. General availability came in December 2023. By 2026, the company described itself as the intelligence layer for coding agents and developers. The Retrieval-First architecture is the differentiator the company has spent a decade building toward. The code graph indexes the relationships between components across an organization's repositories. When a developer asks a question, the system retrieves the relevant code before the model generates a response. The answer is grounded in what the codebase actually contains, rather than what the model infers from its training data. The self-hosted deployment is the enterprise capability no other tool in this comparison provides at the same level. The code never leaves the organization's infrastructure. Audit logs record every interaction between the developer and the assistant. Role-based access controls segment which parts of the codebase different teams can query. Custom model configuration allows the organization to choose which language model processes the retrieved code. For a financial services company, a healthcare provider, or a government contractor whose code cannot be sent to external servers, these requirements are not optional. The product is the only tool in this comparison that meets them without compromise. The relevance question is the challenge the positioning creates. The enterprise assistant from the first comparison has the broadest adoption and the deepest platform integration. The editor from the third comparison has the fastest growth and the most integrated editing experience. The terminal tool from the second comparison has the deepest reasoning for complex autonomous tasks. Each of these competitors is improving its code-based context handling with every release. The decade of search infrastructure provides a lead. Whether the lead holds depends on whether the competitor's general-purpose context improvements reach the quality that the specialized retrieval architecture already provides. The product provides conversational assistance grounded in the code graph, autocomplete informed by codebase-wide context, and integration with the development environments that enterprise teams use. The multi-repository context retrieval answers questions that span organizational boundaries, connecting code in one repository to its dependencies and consumers in others. The model flexibility allows organizations to choose the provider that meets their compliance requirements rather than being locked to a single vendor's models. The 2026 repositioning as infrastructure for coding agents extends the value proposition beyond individual developer assistance. As autonomous coding tools proliferate, the accuracy of the code they retrieve becomes the bottleneck. A model that generates code based on training data, Hallucination, produces different results from a model that generates code grounded in retrieved source. The company's thesis is that its code intelligence infrastructure serves both human developers and the agents that work alongside them. The layoffs and restructuring create a sustainability concern. The enterprise buyer evaluates alongside the product capabilities. The company has been through headcount reductions. The pivot from search company to platform for coding intelligence required significant repositioning. For an enterprise choosing a tool to deploy across thousands of developers for the next several years, the company's stability matters alongside the product's capability. The funding total of approximately $223 million and the 2021 valuation provide a foundation. Whether the revenue trajectory supports the current positioning is the question the buyer must evaluate. Someone whose organization has a large code base that developers struggle to navigate and whose compliance requirements prevent sending code to external servers should evaluate this product first. The self-hosted deployment, the audit controls, and the code graph retrieval provide a combination. The other tools in this comparison do not match for that specific use case. The specialist advantage is real. The question is whether the specific use case matches the organization's actual bottleneck. Someone evaluating the product alongside the other tools in this comparison should understand that the comparison is not symmetrical. The enterprise assistant provides broader integration. The editor provides a more exciting development experience. The terminal tool provides deeper reasoning on complex tasks. This product provides more accurate code-based grounded answers. Each advantage is real in its domain. The domain determines which advantage matters. Someone concerned about the company's stability should evaluate the trajectory since the pivot. The 2026 repositioning as infrastructure for coding agents suggests a direction that could sustain the company if the agent market develops as anticipated. The layoffs and restructuring are historical facts. The enterprise buyer weighs against the current product quality and development pace. Someone choosing between specialized code-based retrieval and general-purpose coding assistance should ask where the accuracy bottleneck actually is. If the problem is that developers cannot find the right code in a large repository and the model hallucinates answers without code-based grounding, the Retrieval-First architecture solves that problem specifically. If the problem is that developers need faster code completion or deeper reasoning for complex implementation tasks, the other tools in this comparison solve those problems more directly. The founders who built enterprise code search in 2013 and pivoted to coding intelligence a decade later built the product that addresses the specific failure every other tool in this comparison shares. Language models fabricate answers. This product retrieves the actual code before the model responds. The architecture is the mitigation the company's own documentation describes. The complaint trail is modest because the retrieval-first design limits the blast radius of model error. The specialist positioning is both the advantage and the constraint. For the enterprise where code-based understanding is the bottleneck, the product provides what no competitor matches. For the developer whose bottleneck is speed, editing integration, or reasoning depth, the competitors provide what this product does not prioritize. The right tool is the one that matches where the work actually stalls. The code search works, the retrieval works, the grounding reduces hallucination. The question is whether the organization's bottleneck is the one this product was built to solve. If it is, the specialist is the correct choice. If it is not, the default or the editor or the agent serves the actual need more directly. The tool works. The relationship with the code base it enables is where the value lives.